Today we're going to teach you how to make chicken rice.
We take our big pot and we're going to fill it up with water so we can start to boil our chicken breast. Fill it up with filtered water. Okay, and we want it to boil, so we put it as high as possible. Now I'm going to put salt. Cumin's always good with chicken. Not a whole lot, but some. You use it long onion or whatever onion you prefer. The white one or the yellow one's fine. A couple pieces. So now we're going to allow this to boil
For about 30 minutes.
Chicken is boiled. We're going to take it out. So I'm just going to remove it from our pot of broth and put it in a little bowl for it to cool off, because you're going to have to shred it with your hands afterwards. So we just let that cool for a while. We're going to save the broth. It's very important to save the broth because this is what you're going to use to make your rice with. So there's the broth. Looks good. Chicken looks good. We're ready. Then we're going to get the olive oil. We're going to cover the bottom of the pan with olive oil. Okay, so what I mean is, like, just get the whole bottom nicely saturated because we're going to cook our bell pepper in here. So I'm going to grab my chopped bell pepper and drop them in there. Okay. Two bell peppers. So we just let them saute and they'll release their red juices into the olive oil. And this is like the key ingredient to get your flavor right on your chicken and rice. So just let it simmer until they melt down and start blending with the oil. Okay. So I have my cool chicken breast, so I'm just taking the skin off. We're not going to keep the skin for the meal. We're just removing the skin, taking all the skin off. And then from here we'll just start taking the chicken meat one by one and shred it. Little pieces like this. Just shred it so they're bite-sized. And do it to all three breasts. It's ready now, so we'll put it in. Let the chicken soak up the olive oil that's absorbed the flavoring from the bell pepper.
You're not supposed to stir it?
Yeah, go ahead, stir it.
Okay.
Stir it in.
You can't film it and stir it.
Here we go. So now we're going to start to put everything together to make the rice. Once we got the chicken going, now we'll add the rice and the broth back into it. Some big chunks of chicken there.
It's a lot of chicken, right?
You can use your chicken to your liking if you like less chicken and more vegetables. You know, right?
So I'm going to put, where's my rice? So now we're going to grab the rice. I'm going to measure out, in this case, I'm going to measure out 2 cups of rice for three chicken breasts.
This serves about 7 to 8 people,
Approximately.
approximately, depending on how much you eat.
You know, if you eat a lot, then maybe 4.
2 cups of rice. For every cup of rice, use 1.5 of broth. So we use 2 cups of rice. We're going to use 3 cups of broth.
Very good, Magda.
This is 2. And then 1 equals 3. Now we'll add our chicken, our rice, and our broth, and all the proper equal amounts. And we're going to start adding the ingredients, which are the green olives. So I'm going to drop maybe most of this jar in there. Oops. We're going to get all the juice. I just want to get the olives from here. To as many as you like, so I'm dropping those in. Then I'm going to get capers. You put capers to your liking. I like lots of capers. Some people don't, but I like them. I put the capers in, like maybe half this jar, for this much. A little bit of the juice to give that vinegary taste. Give it a zing. Ketchup. I'm pouring as much as to taste. So I'm going to start dropping some in here. Stir this all in. I'm going to bring this to a boil. Ketchup makes the rice orangey, gives it the sweet flavor that everybody likes. So, I'm going to add a cup of mixed vegetables, about a cup, or if you like more or less. A cup is good for 3 chicken breasts. Stir these guys in. Now you have all the ingredients you need in your pot to make chicken and rice. You're going to bring it to a boil, and we'll start adding salt, and we'll start tasting it until it's just right.
Okay, now.
I'm adding some more salt because I can't taste it in my soup, in my chicken and rice. I'm adding salt because always remember that the rice sucks up the salt flavor, so you want to make it a little bit saltier. But like I said, it's all just a taste. I think I'm going to need a little more ketchup. I think I'm going to kill the olives in this one.
What do you think? That was a little bit of the olive juice.
I'm going to use up all my olives.
Magda likes olives, so she's using a whole entire jar. Some of you don't like, maybe do not like olives. And, you know.
It's getting there. It's just the right sweetness, but I think I need more salt still.
And realize that you can probably make this dish, rice and chicken, with shrimp, with other things, and
Seafood. It's like a
seafood.
paella.
Like, yeah, you can add seafood to this.
Sausages.
Exactly.
And not use the chicken if you don't like chicken.
You can kind of customize it to your liking once you have this down. Kind of, ooh, a lot of pieces.
I know, but that's a lot of rice.
Okay, I gotta pause it because my hands hurt.
Okay, that's good. That's all we have.
Go ahead.
So now it's been brought to a boil. You can see that it's starting to simmer on the sides. So just lower the flame because it's reached the boil. Just lower it a little bit and wait for all the water to evaporate. And right before you, just wait for the water to evaporate, and I'll show you how it's got to look before you turn it low and put the lid on it. So right now we leave it without the lid. We wait for most of this water to evaporate. So it's just like going to be stewing at this temperature. You can see it right there. Just let it simmer like that till there's no more water.
So you can see the water. When you don't see the water, when all you see is the rice and the chicken and all the stuff on top, that's when you probably, right, simmer and put the lid on.
Yeah. We'll turn it to the very slowest and we'll put the lid on.
Okay.
Right now that's boiling, it's basically cooking the rice.
Yes.
This is the actual rice cooking.
Okay.
How it's going to look when the water is mostly evaporated. You can hear it start to make like a crinkly sound, like it's evaporated. So now you can see that visibly the water's gone. You can't see it. We're going to turn it down to low. Once you turn it down to low, we're going to put the lid on for about 10 to 15 minutes, and we'll check on it, testing to see when the rice is done. We're going to check in on chicken and rice. As you can see, the rice is opening up, which means it's cooking nicely. I'm going to give it a little stir, not from the outside in. I'm going to lift it to give it a little room to fluff up. See how it's doing. You can see it's like dried up. There's no water left in it. We'll let it cook a little bit longer once we fluffed it up. Lift it on the spots that it's kind of like condensed. Okay, now I'm going to put the lid back on for another 5 or 7 minutes, and it'll all just kind of to dry it up a little bit more. So we'll leave it on very, very low.
And there you go. That's your chicken and rice.